Could Nightcrawler survive the ultimate nightmare? We're talking about Kurt Wagner, the teleporting, swashbuckling heart of the X-Men, thrown into the dark, acidic world of the xenomorphs from the Alien franchise. It's a classic matchup of agility versus apex predator. So, could our favorite fuzzy blue elf make it out alive? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about the man himself, Nightcrawler. Kurt Wagner is more than just a teleporter. He's a master acrobat, his body possessing enhanced flexibility, speed, and agility. His prehensile tail adds another layer of dexterity. Mahey, and he's an expert swordsman, often wielding one or two cutlasses, with incredible skill. But his primary power, his spatial displacement, is the real game changer. He teleports by instantaneously displacing himself through an alternate dimension, reappearing in a new location. This isn't just a simple jump. It's accompanied by his signature BAMF sound and a puff of brimstone-smelling smoke. The range of his teleport is significant, several miles under optimal conditions, and he can do it in rapid succession. He also has uncanny night vision and can blend into shadows, making him a natural stealth artist. Now, let's look at the opposition. The xenomorph. This is one of cinema's most terrifying creatures for a reason. They are biomechanical killing machines. They're incredibly strong, fast, and durable, with a tough exoskeleton that can withstand a lot of punishment. They've a razor-sharp tail, an inner jaw that can punch through bone. And, of course, that infamous molecular acid for blood. One wrong move, one misplaced cut, and you're getting a face full of acid that melts through anything. Xenomorphs are also masters of stealth, using their dark coloration and ability to climb walls and ceilings to ambush their prey. They're not just mindless beasts, they're cunning pack hunters, communicating and coordinating attacks. They're born from a horrifying life cycle, from facehugger to chestburster, and a single one can quickly create a whole hive, presided over by a massive and intelligent queen. So, the scenario is set. Let's imagine Nightcrawler is dropped into the middle of a xenomorph-infested colony. Maybe something like Hadley's Hope from Aliens. What's his first move? Survival. Nightcrawler's immediate advantage is his teleportation. The moment he senses danger, he can BAMF out of there. A xenomorph lunging from the shadows? BAMF. A pack trying to corner him in a corridor? BAMF. He can instantly create distance. Which is something most victims in the Alien movies never have the luxury of doing. His ability to teleport vertically is also a huge plus. He can move from floor to floor, bypassing blocked doors or ambushes, making it incredibly difficult for the xenomorphs to pin him down. Think about the classic xenomorph hunting strategy. They use vents, crawl spaces, and darkness to get the drop on their targets. Nightcrawler essentially turns this tactic on its head. He's the one who can appear and disappear from nowhere. He could theoretically spend the initial phase of the infestation just mapping out the facility, locating the hive, and observing the enemy's numbers and patterns, all without ever engaging directly. His stealth capabilities, combined with his teleportation, make him the ultimate scout. He can gather more intel in an hour than a whole squad of colonial marines could in a day. But survival isn't just about running away. At some point, a confrontation is inevitable. This is where Nightcrawler's combat skills come into play. Wielding his swords, he's a formidable fighter. But here's the first major problem: xenomorph acid blood. A clean decapitation or slicing a limb off a xeno is a death sentence for a normal swordsman. The pressurized acid would spray everywhere, potentially melting Kurt, his swords, or the floor beneath him. This is a huge risk, Nightcrawler. We'd have to adapt his fighting style completely. Instead of lethal slices, he'd need to focus on non-lethal takedowns, or using his agility to create environmental hazards. This brings up a fascinating question. Can Nightcrawler teleport other living beings with him? Yes, he can. He's done it countless times with his teammates. Clever, It's physically taxing, and the more mass he takes, the more strain it puts on him. He probably couldn't teleport a queen, but a single xenodrone. Absolutely. This opens up a whole new set of offensive tactics. You could grab a xeno and teleport it 100 feet straight up, letting gravity do the work. Or, more gruesomely, he could attempt a telefrag, trying to teleport a xeno partially into a solid wall. While his powers usually prevent this from happening to himself, it's been shown that with extreme concentration, he might be able to override that safety for a passenger. It would be a desperate high-risk move, but in a life-or-death situation, it's on the table. A more practical use would be teleporting them into a blast furnace, or out into the vacuum of space, if he's on a ship like the Nostromo or Sulaco. Let's consider the psychological aspect. Nightcrawler is a man of deep faith and compassion. The sheer horror of the xenomorphs and their life cycle would be profoundly disturbing to him. But Kurt is also a seasoned hero who has faced down demons, cosmic gods, and all sorts of existential threats. He's no stranger to horror. While he would be horrified, I don't believe he would break. His resolve would likely be strengthened, driving him to end the threat not just for his own survival, but to stop the suffering these creatures inflict. He's not a killer by nature, but he understands the necessity of stopping a monstrous threat. So, how does he win? How does he not just survive, but defeat the infestation? His best bet is to avoid a direct, prolonged war of attrition. He can't fight a whole hive head-on. The acid blood risk is too great, and he would eventually tire. His path to victory lies in a strategic strike against the heart of the hive, the queen. Using his scouting abilities, he would locate the queen's chamber. The challenge would be getting to her. The chamber is always teeming with drones and Praetorian guards. This is where Nightcrawler's hit-and-run tactics would be essential. He could teleport in, cause a distraction on one side of the chamber, and then teleport to the other to get closer to the queen. Once he's near the queen, he has a few options. A direct sword fight is probably out of the question due to her size and the sheer volume of acid she contains. His best bet is to use the environment. Maybe. Could he teleport heavy equipment from elsewhere in the facility and drop it on her? A definite possibility. This is where his creativity becomes his greatest weapon. Imagine him teleporting in and out of the chamber, systematically causing support structures to fail until the ceiling collapses on the queen. Or, in a classic alien movie move, teleporting her into an airlock and flushing her into space. That seems like a very Nightcrawler-esque solution. Clever, efficient, and avoids a direct, bloody fight. Without the queen, the hive's structure collapses. The remaining xenomorphs would become disorganized, perhaps less aggressive, or simply focused on protecting any remaining eggs. This would give Nightcrawler the opening he needs to escape the facility for good. So, the final verdict. Yes, I believe Nightcrawler could absolutely survive a xenomorph infestation. In fact, he's one of the best equipped characters in comics to handle this specific threat. His powers directly counter the xenomorph's greatest strengths. Their stealth is negated by his ability to escape any ambush. Their numbers are negated by his ability to bypass them entirely. Their terrifying close-quarters prowess is negated by his ability to control the range of engagement at all times. The acid blood remains the biggest danger, but it's a danger he can mitigate through smart tactics, environmental attacks, and avoiding direct dismemberment. He wouldn't just survive, he'd have a strong chance of neutralizing the entire threat by taking out the queen. It wouldn't be easy. And the mental scars would be deep, but our swashbuckling hero would bamf his way to victory. What do you think? Did I miss a crucial detail? Is there a flaw in his strategy? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this nerdy deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more What If battles. Thanks for watching.